This is our Memorial Day week. Phrases like wettest May on record are being thrown around. We should be planting our garden, but thank goodness I have lots to do inside. The next big task to get checked off the list is the downstairs utility room. By getting the utility room insulated, drywall hung, taped and textured, we can transfer all my tools, all my building materials from the front room into the utility room and get ready to hang the rest of the drywall downstairs. Everything upstairs is basically done, ready for a good cleaning, then paint. While I try to remind myself to always be grateful for many things, this particular week I remind myself how important it is to be grateful for those that have gone before us and lost their lives in military service. I will forever be grateful for those that choose to sacrifice so much, allowing people like me to have so many freedoms that I truly cherish. I have this theory that there are levels to love. Now, this may not be much of an epiphany to you, but when I began to understand this, it was most definitely an epiphany to me. Now, the idea behind this thing called levels of love is pretty self-explanatory. For instance, I love my new Double H boots. But how much do I really love my boots? If you told me I had to choose between my boots and my dog, I'd choose my dog. You can't tell me that you love your good-for-nothing cat as much as I love my good-for-nothing dog. Again, levels of love. There's a video that I've seen many times that brings this into perspective. There's a soldier coming home from war that hadn't seen his mother in quite some time, I'm guessing months, if not years. And he snuck into the dental office where his mother worked. He then snuck into one of the rooms, sat in the chair, and waited for his mother, who I'm guessing must have been a hygienist, to arrive. When she walked into that room, one of the highest levels of love was expressed. You could hear the anguish, the joy, the relief, the pride, the gratitude, all of these things that I can't even pretend to understand that a mother must feel as she sends a son off to war. I cleaned up some of the pipes in the utility room and I forgot to crimp one fitting. Had I not had my earbuds in, I would have heard it leaking right away. I'm certain I truly began to understand what love was as myself and my wife began having kids. To go through the process of creating life with somebody that you're madly in love with, and then recognize the responsibility that was just handed to you, is life-changing. I'm sure my kids know how much I love them, but they would probably also tell you that I love to work. It's hard for me to break away from working up here and take time off. To take a little bit of time off away from the ranch, spend it with Cedar and the kids out at the lake fishing.
Wait, is that your new lucky pole? Sweet, good job!
Watching my family have some genuine fun was refreshing. This week I have two of my brother's kids up here with us. Wyatt just graduated from high school, and Gloria and Kyler are up hanging out with Reed and Callie. It's most definitely been a lot of fun to have them. Watching Tell jump in the lake right next to my mom and her cat-like reflexes brought a smile to my face, to say the least.
Hey, don't touch Reed.
It reminded me that I need to do this more often.
Tyler,
I tell myself once the house is done, this will be a priority. I tried to bring the pipes down as low as I could in the ceiling, where they would not be as prone to freezing and more protected. After putting the Roxol insulation on the top and bottom and some Thermoflex pipe wrap, I've got to think that they're going to be okay, but only time will tell. I don't recall my dad telling me that he loved me very often as a kid. As he got older, and as I got older, that changed dramatically. My dad would tell me he loved me every time he saw me. Now, my mom regularly tells me that she'd love to hold my head underwater. That's also another level of love. While Wyatt and Rhett were cleaning the utility room, I put one more coat on the bathroom upstairs, getting it ready for final sanding and touch-up. As my dad matured, as he watched myself and my siblings begin to truly understand what love was, as we had families, maybe he felt it was more important to express to us just how much he loved us. I love my wife and kids dearly. I tell myself that I need to stay focused and get the house finished so we can move in up here, so my wife and kids can begin to enjoy this new life of ours up here at Red Poppy Ranch. Again, we're getting so close to the end that it's hard to take a breath and not think about anything but the projects that I have to do up here. The harder I work at checking things off the list, the closer we get to moving in. Now that we're transitioning to the downstairs, it's even harder for me to sleep at night. We're just so close. In my mind, there's no need to texture the utility room. Once it's taped, it's sealed up, it's good enough. On the right-hand side of the utility room, where the plumbing pipes are, will be first water softener and water filters, then my 2 tankless water heaters ran in series, then my Solarc battery inverter, then my batteries. The rest of the utility room will be used for my tools and for some building materials until the shop is finished. Once the tools are removed from the utility room, then we will use it for an overflow pantry. I'd like to put a stand-up freezer to keep wild game and other meats that we harvest from around the property in. But naturally, as we get moved in and get settled, we'll get some of these things established. I'm as done with the utility room as I can get. I went down last night to buy another 40 sheets of drywall, but it was raining too hard. We've had 12 inches of rain already this year. Normally we have about a 15-inch average for the entire year. But it's dry. We're supposed to be dry from here on out. So now we've got to get everything from the front room into this room. I've got my son Rhett and my nephew Wyatt here helping me. And then I'm going to let my lovely wife do most of the organizational stuff because that's what she's good at. But the utility room is done. There's no reason to do anything more than what we've done in here, other than get everything out of the front room now in here. Ruger, bite the big one. Bite him. After Wyatt and Rhett spent the day helping me, I took them down to the local pizza parlor that happened to have a couple of pool tables, and I showed them how valuable the skills were that I developed back in high school while ditching seminary and hanging out at the pool hall. Of course, I didn't tell them that, and I let Wyatt win a few times, but we're definitely going to have a pool table out in the shop once the shop's finished. Putting a final coat in the bathroom, I'm figuring out that I'm not going to have to do anywhere near as much as I did in the other rooms. It just needs a little bit of sanding and touch up and it's ready to go. So I've only done 2 coats on these 2 walls in the laundry room here. I just have to touch up a few little spots like this. Feel good that I'll be able to get the downstairs done way faster than the upstairs took. So.